Hello, friends. Josh, Ayen, got DMJ, and Tony Leach joining us, our Prep Ball Stars insider. It's been a few weeks since the Lawrence Central sectional wrapped up, and while it was a shame that the rest of the IHSAA season wrapped up, that's not to say that we still have an idea of a tournament in mind. Darrell, you came up with an idea a couple weeks ago thinking what would happen if we had the best teams in the state of Indiana that won a state championship. What if we put them all together and make our own tournament? Darrell, what were your thoughts about that?
Well, my thought was if we took, the state champions from Central Indiana, okay, that have won state champions, have been state champions, and I think that number is 39. We will do our math and check it out. But 39 state champions from Central Indiana would take all those teams and we'll put them in one big bracket, and let's let the players, fans, and coaches determine who is the best team from Central Indiana to have won a state championship.
We put out a little teaser last week saying from 1955 Crispus Attucks to 2019 with Carmel, go all the way back to 1955. You got some big names going all the way back. The Big O, Oscar Robertson, George McGinnis. I know he played with Washington High School back in the day. A lot of big names from the state of Indiana that went on to win a state title. And, man, I can't imagine a better way of, doing like a hypothetical bracket, just seeing all the big names that have played high school ball in the Hoosier State over the years.
And I tell you, Tony, my team, who I would certainly pick and stack up against anybody, if I talk about all 39 of the champions, would be the 1980 Broad Ripple Rockets.
Well, that's one of my favorite teams all time. I mean, that was really close to my era, and they just were such an exciting team with King Duke, little guard, and they had the big with 6'8" Jeff Robinson went on to Pittsburgh. Stacy Turan, rest in peace, he went on to play football at Notre Dame. So they were just a really tough team, but actually a team that in a lot of ways they remind me of is that 2018 Warren Central team, which was also a tough bunch. Best undefeated season ever, I believe, with 32-0. So Stacy Turan and David Bell kind of remind me of each other in terms of players, both football players, both tough defenders, both had that kind of we're not going to lose attitudes. So those are the two teams that really kind of stand out to me. Of course, the 2006 Lawrence North team with Greg Oden, again, two-time National Player of the Year, Mr. Basketball for the state of Indiana. I tell you what, you're going to have some teams that didn't take L's, for real, that are mythically going to have to take some L's through this thing. You got 39 top state champions.
Yeah.
And a lot of these guys didn't lose at all of the 39 champions. So they're going to take some L's here, at least mythically, the fans and coaches voting. So.
We didn't talk about Robert Vaden and those guys, Courtney Lee. I mean, there's been so many players that have played, here in Central Indiana that they don't get enough. We don't talk about them enough. And I don't think the young guys really know them, like they should. And then there's some of the older players that people have forgotten about. This is an opportunity for us to really kind of reignite the conversation, and we can get the older folks talking to the younger folks, letting them know, hey, look, before you were shooting 3 points like that, guess who Billy Keller was? You know what I mean? There's some players out there, man, that have really put up some numbers, and we'll get an opportunity to talk about that, in this kind of tournament, this kind of setting.
Well, absolutely. I mean, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Josh.
I was going to say, I tweeted out the other day, I was about to get a history lesson in IHSAA basketball. And, man, I know we've got some great guests lined up to talk about these first-round matchups. But real quick, just, Darrell, I know we talked about just debating how we were going to go about seeding this tournament. Yes, folks, this is going to be a seeded tournament. But there's a lot of teams, like you said, a lot of undefeated teams that went on to win state titles. So, Darrell, real quick, how'd you go about seeding the teams in this 39-team bracket?
Well, the only fair way, and I don't know if it was fair or not, but the only way to really seed these teams is to seed them by record, okay? And so, for example, 2018 Warren Central will be the number one overall for the simple fact they were 32-0, okay? And then you'd have to go with 1956 Attucks, 31-0. All right, 1969, that was Washington, was 31-0. And then 2003 Pike was 29-0. Now, people are going to say, well, what about Lawrence North? They were undefeated. Pike got there first. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use that method to really get this thing going. And again, this is going to be a great tournament with 39 champions from Central Indiana to see who will take home the state championship, the mythical state championship. The champion of champions is what we're calling this. And this is going to be a great tournament. We're going to talk to some great people and have a lot of fun talking about Indiana high school basketball.
Well, we've got some play-in games where we're going to let you, the fans, vote not just on the play-in games, but just the entire tournament in general, like DMJ mentioned. Starting Monday, we're going to be revealing the teams and revealing the matchups in our play-in games. We're going to let you, the fans, decide who advances to the first round of action. Number 1 seeds drop tonight. Make sure you stick around on our Make Network Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram accounts so you can see which are the number 1 accounts, or you can just watch earlier in this video as DMJ put a bit of a spoiler alert. But again, 39 teams in the state of Indiana, or in Central Indiana, that have gone on to win a state title since 1955. You're going to see all 39 of those teams unveiled over the next 24 hours. And again, you, the fans, are going to be the ones that decide who is going to be the Central Indiana champion of champions.